editor of the New Voice of Ukraine. He joins me now live from Kiev. Romeo, good to see you. So the speculation out there is that this is a response by Russia to what Ukraine did in Crimea. Do you share the same perspective?
There's no way that this massive attack occurred within a 2-day planning period. The Russians simply aren't capable of that kind of reaction speed. This has been an attack that I am positive has been planned for months in advance. It would have taken them at least that long to stockpile 110 missiles. We have barely seen massed missile attacks to that scale in recent times. So no, this is something that they've been planning for a while.
Do you think it took the Ukrainians by surprise?
I mean, considering we don't have a direct line into the Kremlin, I think a lot of Russian actions take us by surprise. Unfortunately, without sufficient air defense in a lot of these outlying cities, there's simply no way for Ukraine to respond properly. Kiev, despite being protected by multiple Western-donated air defense systems, still got hit, still has things coming through. But for the cities without any air defense, well, when there's an attack, there's shock, surprise, and there's not much you can do about it.
And do you think the fact that the United States and European Union have tried on multiple occasions to block financial and military aid to Ukraine over the past few months, do you think that has played a role in sabotaging Ukrainian military and reinforcing Russia's attacks on Ukraine?
Absolutely. This story of insufficient aid has been a line that the Ukrainian authorities and Ukrainians in general have been repeating pretty much since last February. And it doesn't seem like the world understands the severity of the threat that Ukraine is under, despite seeing it on their TV screens for nearly 2 years now. This latest attack is just more evidence of the same. Ukraine is not given the aid needed. It's tied up in political battles. The solutions that Ukrainians offer, for example, to unfreeze Russian assets and use them for defense purposes, that is also always encountering some kind of delays. I mean, the fact is, if we had a proper air defense systems, if we had proper air force, then these attacks would be nowhere near as devastating as they currently are.
And Romeo, if we are being realistic, and let's assume for a second here that the United States and the EU, they do not send any sort of new military aid to Ukraine, then it's really hard for Ukraine to sustain Russian attacks. At one point, Ukraine will be forced to submit to the Russians. No?
I don't think that's true at all, simply because this is an existential war. Submission to the Russians simply naturally results as, by the Russians' own words, the complete destruction of Ukraine as a nation and a people. And Ukrainians simply aren't going to roll over and allow that to happen, whether or not we have international allies, whether or not we have partners or aid or support. Ukraine is going to keep fighting until it is free. That's simply the way of things. The world can either help us do that, or they can stand by and watch more of our people be slaughtered senselessly by a dictator.
Fascinating insights into the topic. Romeo, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World. Really appreciate your taking out the time.